about it from now all the way into the White House and beyond.
Let me turn to the sensitive issue of the email investigation. Now that the threat of criminal prosecution is behind you, what have you learned from this entire episode about your emails?
Well, first, I greatly appreciate the work that the FBI and Department of Justice did, and they handled it very professionally. And I have said many times, and I repeat clearly today, it was a mistake for me to use personal email, and I regret that. I am certainly relieved and glad that the investigation has concluded, but I also know how important it is to make sure everybody understands that I would certainly not do that again. That is something that at the time, as even Director Comey said, seemed like a convenience, but it was the wrong choice.
Because he clearly said you did not break the law, but Comey, the FBI director, also said in announcing his findings this week that you acted, in his words, extremely careless, in an extremely careless way in handling classified sensitive information. Do you acknowledge you were extremely careless?
Well, I think that Director clarified that comment to some extent, pointing out that some of what had been thought to be classified apparently was not. The State Department also made that clear. I think there are about 300 people in the government, mostly in the State Department, but in other high positions in the government with whom I emailed over the course of 4 years. I believe, did not believe they were sending any material that was classified. They were pursuing their responsibilities. I do not think they were careless, and as I have said many times, I certainly did not believe that I received or sent any material that was classified, and indeed any of the documents that have been referred to I think were not marked or were marked inaccurately, as has now been clarified.
But the FBI director did say about 110 emails were classified, various forms of classification, even if they had not been marked. He said someone in your position as Secretary of State should have known better. Here's the question: should you have known better? I
just believe that the material that was being communicated by professionals, many with years of handling sensitive classified material, they did not believe that it was. I did not have a basis for second-guessing their conclusion, and these were not marked. They were not marked, and in retrospect, some have said, well, they should have been, but they were not at the time. And I have the highest regard for the people in the State Department who are doing the very hard work of diplomacy day in and day out, often under tremendous pressure from the field and under time pressures and questions from journalists and so much else. And I have no reason to believe that they were careless in their judgments in sending me the material that they did.
The State Department, as you know, has decided now to reopen its own internal review of your use of that private email server or servers now that the Justice Department, the FBI, has completed its investigation. Will you cooperate with this new State Department investigation?
Well, I assume they will pursue whatever process they think is appropriate, and I also assume that they will pay very close attention to what the findings were of the Justice Department investigation. But again, I will repeat, because I think this is important, over 300 people were on these email exchanges, some on many, some on a few, and these were experienced professionals who have had great years of dealing with classified material. And whatever they sent me, they did not believe and had, in my view, no reason to believe at the time that it was classified. So I am very proud of the work that we did during my 4 years. We dealt with 2 wars, financial collapse, the Arab Spring, and so much else. And I think that the professionals with whom I communicated were very careful about how they handled classified material, as I was over the course of those 4 years.
We're completely out of time, but very quickly, will you cooperate with this new State Department investigation? Because I know you didn't cooperate with the Inspector General of the State Department in his investigation.
Well, there was a Justice Department investigation going on at the time, and of course, I fully cooperated with that.
Madam Secretary, thank you very much for sharing some thoughts with us on this day.
Thank you very much, Wolf.
The former Secretary of State, back to Jim.